Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to mismapasion, YouTube's premium channel for all things women's football. And whilst club football is still on the rocks, national team football is hitting its stride as there have been some scintillating games from the CONCACAF Gold Cup and the recently wrapped UEFA Women's Nations League that came to a thrilling curtain call last night, which is where we start in what I will tentatively refer to as the International Roundup. So, welcome. The inaugural Nations League came to a thrilling finale as reigning champions of the world Spain took on fellow European heavyweights France, with both teams steering clear of some worthy semi-final contenders in Netherlands and Germany respectively, with the Germans themselves coming out on top in the third place playoff. The final itself was a star-studded affair, with both teams putting their best foot forward in terms of player personnel, but it's no surprise to know that Spain came out on top in this final. Whether you want to look at stats or watch the game on TV, Spain were utterly dominant against France, and it is no exaggeration to say that it was a walk in the park for the world champions against Les Bleus. Ballon d'Or winner Aitana Bonmati opened the score in the 32nd minute, with Mariona Caldente putting a bow on the game in the 53rd minute, with France themselves enjoying a few moments of attacking plays and even threatening to get a goal at different avenues throughout the game, particularly thanks to the likes of Diani and Karshawi. The game itself was overall a fun affair for supporters of both teams and even the neutrals too. Because when all was said and done, Spain were the deserving winners of the game, with their football arguably being the best on the planet right now, men's or women's football, because it is always exciting, entertaining, and dominating. Every time the national team steps out onto the pitch, they carry themselves like champions, and there is pretty much never any air of panic or second guessing amongst the players. They know what their individual roles are and where their teammates will be on the pitch, and regardless of the opposition, there is a weapon in the Spain team that is ready to topple the team in front of them. Make no mistake of it, there really isn't a team in women's football like Spain right now, and for me, the scariest part is that it's really only the beginning of what is surely going to be a dynasty. Looking at the age profile of the players alone, this is essentially going to be the same team we see at the next World Cup, bar a few changes here and there. But it's actually scary to contemplate this reality, especially given how complete the team is already, even when they're missing the likes of Putellas, who was not available last night in the final. And to just add the cherry on top of this very scary cake, you have the upcoming talents of the likes of Vicky Lopez, who are knocking on the door of the national team starting lineup. So we're potentially looking at least 15 or more years of Spanish dominance in the women's game if things fall into place, which is just insane to just think about. For France, it is a simple situation that they came face to face against an impregnable behemoth that despite their best efforts, they could not do anything more than just maybe put a few scuffs on its armor polish. Honestly, if Everard chose to end the match prematurely, I would not have blamed him, because Spain really are just that good. But nevertheless, to have come this far in such, I guess, I won't say prestigious, but a very talent-heavy tournament, this just shows how strong France are, not only continentally, but arguably globally too, and really, they are just one or two pieces away from completing a puzzle that could potentially see them become regular opposition to Spain. We now cross the ocean and go over to the ongoing CONCACAF Gold Cup, which has had a lot of flash and panache from the usual suspects, with some high-scoring matches courtesy of Brazil, Colombia, USA, Canada, and somewhat surprisingly, Mexico, who have been on an absolute tear all things considered, and are currently unbeaten in their campaign so far, after a goalless draw against Argentina, an 8-0 drubbing of Panama, and a 2-0 victory over the USA. El Tri Femenil are undeniably the dark horses for this edition of the Gold Cup, and given just how impressive they have been so far, I personally wouldn't bet against them making the final, as they have Paraguay coming up in the quarterfinals, who they can easily turn over barring a shock performance. And speaking of the quarterfinals, there are some really tantalizing matchups on show, with Brazil taking on Argentina, Canada going toe-to-toe with Costa Rica, and the USA colliding with Colombia. And I don't know if it's just me, but as a history buff, It's kind of funny to see the teams that the USA are facing off against, considering their historical entanglements. And wouldn't it be priceless for the Powerpuff Girls to knock out the Stars and Stripes off the back of their loss to Mexico? Scenes. Elsewhere in women's football, many teams have successfully punched their ticket to the Paris Olympics later this year, with Spain, Germany, Australia, and Japan being the latest qualifiers alongside already qualified hosts France, Colombia, Brazil, USA, Canada, and New Zealand, with the remaining spots still up for grabs between Ghana, Zambia, Tunisia, Morocco, Cameroon, Nigeria, Tanzania, and South Africa. Of the nations still vying for the Olympic spots in the CAF qualifiers, who do you think will come out on top? Personally, I've got my money on South Africa and Morocco, but maybe Nigeria might just squeeze in. You never know. But what are your thoughts on all the things that I've mentioned in this video? What do you think of Spain as a dominant national team? Do you think, just like me, Mexico can go all the way? Or will they suffer an unfortunate setback and heartbreak when all things are said and done concerning the CONCACAF Gold Cup? Leave your thoughts on anything you found interesting in this video, anything interesting you may have noticed during this international break that I may have not mentioned, or anything in general concerning women's football, and we can chat about it. But as for now, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.